cannot hold Nnpc and other fuel marketers, Daddy Freeze says. Leader of the Free Nation in Christ and media personality Daddy Freeze recently spoke about the high cost of fuel in the country in a video shared on his Facebook. He said that the burden of high cost of fuel should not be placed on the federal government, but rather on the Nnpc and other fuel marketers. Recall the price has recently skyrocketed, that's the price of fuel, to 617 naira per litre. He said you cannot hold the government because they did what was best for the country by removing fuel subsidy, but you should hold the Nnpc and other fuel marketers because they are the ones selling the fuel at the price of their choice. Well, first of all, so I'm trying to avoid the word unintelligent, but it's like you take total disregard for history. Because let's be honest, the Nnpc and the government are one. Like this. 5 and 6. So to make an argument in a way where you try to separate the government and the Nnpc in Nigeria is just ridiculous and the highest form of gaslighting, right? Gaslighting on, on individuals who will fall prey to this kind of thinking, because with money, with budgets, with the economy, it's the government that gives subsidies, right? And because we already have an existing, and strengthened corrupt system, as in the whole of Nigeria, so this corrupt system doesn't just, it runs across all sectors, including the Nnpc and the oil sector. So that already exists in itself. So even if the country or the government has nothing to do, Nnpc will be corrupt regardless. But because the government is involved, you need to go educate yourself as to what the essence of a subsidy is. And if anything, you find that the Nnpc and the government have just intentionally not allowed the oil sector to progress, right? Because if we depend on oil so much, we've been trading, we've been refining. I mean, this should be our strength. And in fact, electricity should be no problem. So yes, I know the Nnpc and the government have their part to play as individual, bodies, but in terms of the ruling of the country, they have been 5 and 6 intertwined. One cannot do without the other. That's what it is. He says that we are experiencing hard times, but it's better we feel it now than later. First of all, who is we? Because I don't think he's part of that we. I don't think he's a part of that we, and he can, take care of himself and his family. He just cannot relate, and that's why he can talk. So the escalating fuel costs, I think what Nigerians need to remember history. Like, Nigerians need to, because I think we're so caught up in, oh my days. First of all, we don't like the government. We don't like the political party nor its presidential candidate. And that in itself influences the way we are reacting and analyzing situations. Why? Because regardless, right, the issue that exists is that Nigeria has been regressing for so long, but it's been in doses. And because Nigerians eventually accept, things always stay worse, right? Because if you look at the fuel prices, they just hiked up. From Goodluck Jonathan's time, it was about 80-something naira per litre, and it increased to 150-something, and now we're in 617. But there has been a change in administration, right? There had been a change in presidents and the kind of leadership that we've had. So it's like, yes, at some point it was very unrealistic to think that, a pound would be 1,000 naira. But play, we are here. And so we shouldn't react to this as if it's some new change. It's always been happening. It's just been slow, and it wasn't bad enough to get Nigerians reacting. But trust, even at this rate, Nigerians will still be flying out. Nigerians will still go out. So for those that can, but for those that can't, they have been conditioned to eventually accept, because you can't tell them or the people in abject poverty that this is the first and only time in their life they've experienced something like this. They have just learned to keep going, keep managing, manage until, they pass and never really experience what life could be, because those that are in the position to control their reality take advantage of that so badly and deny others of a good life. It just honestly comes to that. Interesting. In fact, somebody says, hold the bus driver responsible. They are the ones who increase transport fare. I mean, again, it's like when a logic and a style of thinking is so sad, so unintelligent, especially for someone who talks a lot. So it's honestly quite disappointing. Exactly. Someone says madness starts bit by bit before full-blown madness comes. So then that's your answer right there, what I've explained, but in a shorter form. Put what I think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.